Welcome to Looking for the Lost, a podcast dedicated to spotlighting missing and murdered cases and bringing clues to cold cases through psychic detective work.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Looking for the Lost, a podcast dedicated to spotlighting missing and murdered cases. I'm Kay Reynolds, and I'm so glad that you've joined us. I'm here with Jeane July.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
And Asia Cam.
Hello, hello, hello.
And today we're so excited. We have a special guest, John Bazley.
Hello, everyone.
Woohoo.
And yeah, absolutely. So this is our bonus show. So we've just finished recording a show, the fourth part of the Black Dahlia, and John was our guest there and did an amazing job with forensic astrology. So if you didn't catch part 4 of the Black Dahlia, you need to go watch it. You don't want to miss that one. A good one, for sure.
Oh my
yes.
gosh, is it ever?
Lots of
So-
surprises.
While we have had John here with us, we decided we would keep him for the bonus part as well. And he very kindly accepted. So we're excited. So we've got lots of good questions for him today. So this is our chick chat session. All right, ladies. So we've got John here.
Yeah.
Why don't we start, John? Just tell us how you got started in mediumship.
Mm-hmm.
How did this? We all have our stories. What's
Yeah.
your story?
Well, looking back on it, I could say that I was afraid of the dark to an abnormal age. And I'm talking, 16, 17, 18, maybe even beyond there, don't even really want to mention it. But I only found out later that I was sensing spirit. I wasn't alone in the room. Once I found out, I wasn't afraid of the dark anymore. But what really happened was back in 2006, I woke up in the morning in my old apartment, and at the end of my bed is my long deceased grandmother. And I looked, and she said, "Hello, dear." And I always called her Gam, and I said, "Hi, Gam." And she said, "I just want to let you know that I'm with your grandfather and I'm all right." And I said, "Okay." And she said, "Oh, well, all right, now I'm going to go." And I said, "Okay." And she says, "I love you." And I said, "I love you too." And then it felt like I woke up again, and I was like, whoa, cool dream. Let me call my mother. And I told her the same thing. And then there's this long pause, and she said, "John," he goes, "today is the anniversary of your grandmother's death." And what was interesting was, even to this day, I don't have that ingrained in my mind. I know it was 1987. I know it's April. I still don't know the day. So even back then, though, I didn't know at all. It was kind of like a little bit of a shocking event because I didn't think she'd pass away back in 1987. So, okay. Again, cool dream, kind of a coincidence. Didn't know that was kind of like a synchronicity. But then I was watching the show Medium with Patricia Arquette.
I love that show.
Right.
Mhm.
And it was based on the medium Alison Dubois. And I said, "Who's that?" Looked her up. And she said that she had gotten in or found out that she was a medium when her grandfather visited her in her bedroom, was at the foot of her bed, and said nearly the exact same thing as my grandmother. And I said, if that's how she found out she was a medium, I said, am I a medium? So I started doing some internet searches, which led to books, which led to more books and more books. And you know how it is. One book comes and then
Yes.
it's another, it's another, and it's another. You don't even get through one. And then I started in psychic development circles, because everybody said that's the place that you go. And then I was in two, so I was doing it 3 or 4 times a week for a year. And then one day I'm looking up on the television screen. I saw a show called The Psychic Detective with Tony Stockwell. Who's that? And then they said, oh, he's going to be at Omega. So I went to Omega and I experienced trance mediumship, which he said was the bedrock of mediumship. But then he also had this 3-day psychic detective class. And I took that. Kay, were you there for that one?
No.
No. Okay. But I met him, and that's really what kind of started off the psychic detection, and then just meeting people and so on. And then the mentorship that you and I were in with Tony Stockwell, the psychic detection mentorship.
Yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a question. So, we've heard a little bit about your background and some of the things that you've done. But one thing that really intrigued us was you worked as a grave digger.
Oh, yes. We must
I
know.
knew this was going to come up.
I have to find out.
Well,
We have to ask, man. We have
the
to
psychic
ask.
medium in the graveyard. We got to know what happens.
I could tell you some stories.
Okay. What
Oh,
got
yes,
you
please
into that one,
do.
please?
So, it was a summer position. Like my father's like, listen, you're going to college, you need a summer job. That's it. It's okay, fine. And I applied for a mailroom position at Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers, a seminary for the Catholic foreign missionaries. And it was founded a long time ago, back in, I think, the early 1900s. And the building that's on site is not only the largest fieldstone structure in America, it's also the largest Asian structure as well. And it's got the same, like pagoda type roofs and everything. It's a beautiful building. But part of the job, not only cutting grass, trimming hedges, and so on, was digging graves. And I started off with just helping, just clean up, and using the trucks. But eventually I had left the School of Visual Arts, where I was studying graphic design. And just until I figured out what I was going to do, I went back to being a groundskeeper and digging graves. And this time I was on a backhoe. And but yeah, there were, the footings weren't set up right. So, the coffins would get hung up on it. Coffins would open up.
Oh my.
Coffins
Oh
would
my.
they would get stuck on the way down. And unfortunately, there was a hillside right before the cemetery, stone wall, and all the rain water would come down through the older graves and so on. And it would end up, coming in there. There's a big water problem there. And the water was green and it smelled. And these are back in the day before they had the concrete vaults, which is now state law, New York state law. Okay. We were putting them into these pine wooden vaults that didn't last too long. And the coffins were kind of like a compressed cardboard. It's like the cheapest thing that you can ever have. But they would get hung up, and I had to get in the water, chest deep, green water, smelling and so on.
Oh my God.
Coffins opening up, I'm closing them. Sometimes they were floating on top of the water, and the family's right there,
oh my God.
But
Family. Oh gosh.
we not only took care of the fathers and brothers side, and we also took care of the sister side as well, because they didn't have a backhoe. So we would go over there and dig them. I'm over there with one of my coworkers, Michael, and we're still friends to this day. And, after we finished digging with the backhoe, we really like to take our time and square up the holes. This is a final resting spot for a person, right? So we wanted to make it the best as it could possibly be and square off the corners, clean it up real nice. Family's coming down, and so on. Well, he's in the hole. He's in the grave, and I'm a couple of feet away from him, and he turned and he said, "Would you quit touching me?" And I'm like, "Mike, I'm not touching you." And he just looked at me, so he's still squaring off the hole, and he's like, "Yo, would you quit touching me?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "I can feel your finger tapping me," and we've all heard about the finger taps, right? And everything. So I'm like, "Mike," I said, "I swear to you, I'm not touching you or anything like that, and he really got heated third time, touching. Yo, I said, "Would you quit it?" And I said, "Mike, I'm not touching you." So now I'm far away from the grave. I'm like 15 feet away. And this wind, there's no wind above the grave. The trees aren't moving, nothing. This wind up from inside the grave, it flips his hood and he turns around and he said, "I said, cut the," and I said, "Mike, I'm 15 feet from the grave." And he just has this look of horror on his face. And I said, "You better get out of the hole." Yeah.
Oh my.
So again, this was before the days of, that I thought I was a psychic medium or anything like that. But looking back on it, I was like, wow, and, now I no pun intended, I haunt cemeteries. I walk them, I look at each tombstone. I like to get the dates and everything because maybe they'll come back to me or something like that. But I just like cemeteries in general,
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially the old ones.
Yes. Yeah. The older, the better. And, my friends, they call me and they say, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "Walking the cemetery." And they're like, "Okay."
That's so funny.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, Asia, you had a question about
Yes. I hear you do spirit art, John.
Yeah.
I do spirit art.
Now
Yes,
you
I do.
mentioned that something about an art degree.
Yes.
And so you're formally trained as well.
Yes.
Were you aware of your gifts when you were training in art, or was that also?
No, as a matter of fact, Kay was present. I think on this one particular night, we were working with Tony on the Jack the Ripper case, and he was doing this meditation where he was actually taking us to that place. I think it was with one of the last victims, the one that was murdered inside the room. And the ending of the meditation was, "And now turn and look at the Ripper." And I saw a gentleman standing there. I saw his face, his hair, his suit, his shoes. His shoes were wet and so on. But I said, I got to get this down on paper. So I quickly drew what I saw as the face, and then we were put into breakout rooms, and I was talking with a few people, and someone said, "Wouldn't it be great if we could put all this information that we're getting together in a database and it pops out a suspect?" And I said, "Well, I drew something, maybe, I don't know." And they said, "Let's see it." And I showed them, and they said, "Well, you should look up the suspects and see if anyone matches." Well, wouldn't you know, one did. So I did kind of a side by side comparison of that, and his name was Frederick Deeming. And what's funny is when I was in that meditation, I smelled salt water, and I saw a large ship leaving, a passenger ship. What's funny about Frederick Deeming is that he admits to 2 of the Ripper killings. He killed his wife and children, put them under the floorboards of his home, left England, boarded a ship, went down to Australia, continued serial killing, was caught and hanged. And right before he was hanged, he said, "Yes, I did 2 of the Ripper killings. I didn't do all of them, but I did 2 of them." So that kind of lends to the Jack the Ripper being more than one person, but
wow.
I'm kind of sold on that Frederick Deeming at least doing one of the killings at least. I mean, I saw him, and it's eerie how the drawing matched his picture to his beard, to his nose, and everything. I could pop it up here if I could find it while we're talking about other things.
There was one drawing that you did. I remember. It wouldn't have been that one because he didn't have a beard, but I can't remember who it was. I thought it was with the Beaumont case, but I could be wrong. And I remember I had done a quick drawing as well,
Mhm.
and my drawing very much resembled the one that you had done.
Oh,
Interesting.
wow.
And I was thinking it was Harry Phipps. And, I'm so quiet in class, I didn't say anything. But when you held your picture up, I was like going, oh my God, that looks like the one I drew. I'm sitting here looking through my thing right now.
I just pulled a picture. I found a picture of Deeming. So I've got something I can
I
show you.
actually found my drawing and the picture.
Okay.
If you would like to see it.
Yes, I would love to. We would love to. Absolutely.
Let's
Yes,
just
yes.
go back
Mhm.
to sharing the screen again. And here is the Ripper, Frederick Deeming.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Pretty eerie, right? And he was actually known. I found other pictures of him wearing this very same hat. So eerie.
Okay.
Mm,
Oh, that is.
mm.
That's the one I drew, and I wrote Fred up above.
Oh, so there you go. Yeah.
Wow.
That looks a lot like him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my. Wow.
Yeah, that's close. And he's got the hat, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not an artist, obviously.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Close
But
enough.
when you put that up, because that's the photo I was thinking of. It was a side view.
Mhm.
Because I was like going, oh my God, that looks a lot like the one I just drew.
Wow, I had no idea.
Prominent thin nose, deep set eyes, and I have Fred written up above.
Yeah, and there you go.
Whoa.
There's
Wow.
validation, right? There's nothing like being
Yeah.
validated.
How's that for confirmation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that was interesting because I did get a little bit of spirit art and it resembled George Hodel.
Oh, really? So,
Mhm.
again,
Yes, yes.
validating, right?
Yes, once again, a
Yeah.
validation. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. Your artwork is very good. You can see the
Yeah.
distinction. I'm not a trained artist. My sister was
Mhm.
an artist. That's what's so
Really?
interesting because
Mhm.
I do spirit art, but
Mm.
I feel like it's more just going through me because it's not my actual talent. Because I
Right.
draw, I don't draw this fast when I'm drawing things. I
Right,
don't do all this
Yeah.
fast sketching stuff. And I do stuff that I've never done and come out with things that look like something. So, it's an amazing tool.
Yeah, I think spirit art is fast. I take from what I see clairvoyantly. And what's
Mhm.
funny is I normally can't draw what's kind of in my mind. I've never been able to draw a person that's in my mind except when I work psychically. Then it just kind of matches up. But with the psychic art, I think if you just get colors, that's a great thing. People just put the color down that they felt like, or the shapes and so on like that. I think that's a great starting point. And whatever comes together, and like you said, fast, and you just draw without thought and just keep moving and something forms.
That's exactly how it works. Something
Mhm.
comes out of it, but I don't even
Mhm.
see it in my head yet. It just comes onto the paper. So
Right.
that's really
Mhm.
interesting. But
Mm.
it makes sense if you can't draw from your head. You're not drawing from your head,
No,
Mm-mm.
you're not.
Mm-mm.
right?
Right.
I
So
don't even
so
see
that
it.
goes in with your talent
Mhm.
and your ability and the skill set that you
Mhm.
normally go with. And to me,
Right.
that's just even more confirmation.
Mhm. Exactly.
Yeah. And for me, when I work this way, like I'm not an artist either, but I don't see anything.
Mm.
I just start drawing, and then when I'm done, there's something there that's recognizable.
Right.
Right.
Granted, it's more like a fifth great. Double.
Well, we do sketches.
I'm okay with that.
We do
Yeah,
spirit sketches.
I think as
mine are
long,
quick, you know,
yeah.
2 minutes and done.
Well, I think spirit art is quick, like I said, and I think if it has the essence of something, you know, then
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
My mentor told me, she looked at some of mine because I was doing some of this when I lived in England, and she looked at some of mine and she says it's the eyes. You have
yes,
to, you have to get the eyes right. Get
absolutely,
the eyes
yeah.
right, and it'll fall into place. But you got to get your eyes right.
Right.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah.
There,
So, oh, go
I'm
on.
sorry. I mean, no, I was curious though. Was there something, okay, I may be mistaken. I don't know if it was with John or whatever. Was there something about the Beaumont children that was
Yeah, John,
yeah.
you drew, if I remember right, you did a drawing when we were working on the Beaumont children, and your drawing when we were done looked a lot like Harry Phipps.
Possibly, you know, I'll be honest with you, I can't even really remember, but I don't, you know, doubt it. And I've done so much work on the Beaumont children, and with Scott Russell Hill, that's his passion, and he actually knew the Beaumont children. His father was one of the last people to see the Beaumont children, and so on. There's some surprises there that the chart came up that's not out there, that only the police knew and Scott Russell Hill knew, but it came up on the chart.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
That's cool.
but I do have another drawing to show you, not mine, but this is just to show, you know, spirit art again. This is my cousin, and somebody Kay, you know Elizabeth L from our class, and she contacted me one morning, said, I'm getting a guy, I think his name is Mario, you know, and she goes, I've narrowed it down to you. And she showed me this drawing.
Wow.
And I said, I know who it is. But look, she even got the eyebrow up the same spot. The mustache is unmistakable. The lips, the eyes.
The eyes,
yeah.
It's the eyes.
The
Yep,
eyes
it's
are
the
really
eyes.
good.
Yeah.
Even the shape, how she had the mustache flipped, because
Exactly.
And look at the way she has the way his eyes are shaped with the little, he has a little indentation, like a little extra bit of skin there under his eyes.
Right,
And she caught
exactly.
that. She captured that. That's amazing.
She got everything right. So like I said, it doesn't have to be the world's greatest drawing as long as it has that essence, right? But,
Right. Yeah.
I'll have to look for that drawing with the Beaumont children, and
yeah, I just remembered it, and I'm pretty sure it was you. I mean, you were basically the artist in that class.
Yeah, there was myself and John V, I think.
Oh yeah, he's good too. Yeah. Yeah. So, wow. So do you use your art other than in cases? Do you use it in readings or anything like that?
I do in cases, yes. It's come up where I've drawn a suspect. I drew a car once, and it ended up matching the car. I've done a lot of drawings of suspects. One of them was for Bridget, who was in our class. There was a murder of a young man, and I drew a picture along with John V, and his drawing and my drawing matched. One of the perpetrators, and then Francie, another friend of ours, said, I think you ought to post that along with John V's, you know. And Bridget came back and said, yeah, now the police have confirmed that this is one of their suspects. So
wow. I think I was working on that case too.
Sure you were. Yeah.
Was that her? That was her cousin.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Tennessee, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that case is all over the place, and there's other crimes that are connected with it. And
oh man, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Violent people involved. And that's actually one of the cases we it's not like a true overturn, but they had it as an accidental death. And as we provided more evidence, they said, okay, it's just a suspicious death. And then finally the police said, okay, it's a homicide, and
Oh, they see. I didn't know that they had reversed that.
they did. And Francie had come up with the location. She kind of, I don't think she remote viewed, but she kind of like mapped out with her hand. And she's like, this area, there's something about this area. And I said, that's a dumping ground. And I said, and there's more than one body there.
And I got the street name.
Oh, really? Wow. Look at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yes, I gave her the street name, and then they found him the next day.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got part of the name.
Yeah. That's all you need.
I had been getting it all along, and I kept going. I keep getting he's on the ridge, and it's this road, and it's off of a main road, and she goes, let me tell his dad.
Yeah.
And Ridge was in the name, and they knew exactly what road I was talking about.
That's right. You and Bridget and somebody else had contacted me early in the morning. I think it was like 3 a.m. Bridget contacted me. She said, hey, listen, we're kind of stuck, can you want to get in on this, help out? I said, okay, and I think that's how I got involved with it. But yeah, you were really working it with them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we were I was working separately.
Okay.
Yeah, because she had contacted me privately, and we were working on it. I was working on it, but I knew that you guys were working on it as well.
Right.
Yeah. So that was an interesting case, and then there was another case.
Right. Yeah.
Connected to that case.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Crazy stuff. Yeah.
Well, it reminds me, we working on the Black Dahlia, and we haven't done this case yet, but there was one that I want to bring up in the future. And when I was reading about it, there seems to be a connection to who we suspect as the killer. And it was a starlet. And I think I brought it up to you, ladies, about Jeane Spangler. And I found it to be like, oh my gosh, there's the connection here. There's the connection here. So again, this is someone who they suspiciously, found, I forget, either she found dead or she was missing. It's one or the other, but there's this whole connection with Hollywood and George Hodel.
She was an aspiring actress, I believe, as well.
She was, an aspiring actress. And so that'll be a good case to kind of delve into eventually. So
if George Hodel actually is the perpetrator in the Black Dahlia killings, there are other ones that his son is associating him with, some very well-known cases around the world.
Right. And what was interesting, and this was just us talking on the side with, after we, I think, did part 3, and that was on the suspects. And Kay, you had mentioned, you heard the name George, but you also said, I heard Jorge. Well, I had said,
well, I had written it.
Yeah, you had written it. And I had said, after reading, what was in the public, that there was his son suspected him of doing killings in the Philippines, right? And I told you, I said, guess what? They would have called him Jorge in the Philippines.
That's right.
Yep. There was there's a famous murder there that was similar in the, what was the name you called the smile? The Glasgow smile. That was one of the, and this one was also, I'm not going to speak on it because I don't know that fact for sure, if she was in show business or not, but that was,
well,
there's more than one.
Yeah.
There's more than one. There's a couple in Chicago as well that his son thinks he did the Zodiac killer as well. There's a whole slew of
I heard that, but if you do decide to work on it, then what we do is, and I've only done it once before, but we would do a link or a linkage analysis where we take this forensic chart, this event chart, and then we do another one for one of those murders. We probably see Leo pop up because that's entertainment. We probably see one of the houses pop up for entertainment, or maybe one of the degrees and so on like that. Or we may see, some foreigners in other countries or things like that. And then we could put them together. Tony asked me to work on the Kevin Hicks case, that was my very first forensic analysis chart. Kay was there for that. And then he said, I think there's a tie-in to Reese Collins, who was also a young boy around England in the same area. And I'll just let you in on a little secret, but I've been able to tie in both cases to the same people as well. So one of the ones I said, Kay, was there was a priest involved, but there was also a larger organization, so on. And those same planets that were there then in the Kevin Hicks case a year later are in the Reese Collins case, so very interesting. Well, you can find sometimes, if you dig hard enough, street names in the forensic chart. And, for instance, if something's hitting on Sagittarius, the Archer, might get Arrow Drive, Arrow Street, Arrow Way, something like that, or something that comes up, with Libra, Lawson, something like that, Law, son. And there's even, where you might get a degree that says, Ghost, and then you get something else that might mean dark, and then you put them together and it's it's Dark Angel, but it could be D'Angelo, right? So that's how you kind of work it in there,
Right.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
that's interesting. That's interesting. I didn't know it could do that as well, but wow.
I found a D'Angelo in that chart, but it had nothing to do with the case. I couldn't find anything in there, so couldn't validate. It's just one of those coincidences.
One of those random things that pops. It could have something to do with the family and be connected to a family member in some way, shape, or form that just isn't out in the public world.
It could be. And the only thing I came across was a D'Angelo's Pizza. So pizzeria. No.
Well, this has been interesting.
More than interesting.
Yes, I've enjoyed your stories. I mean, the graveyard.
You got some good stories, John. You've got some real good ones.
Yes,
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, John Bazley, thank you so much for coming here and validating our work here and opening up doors for us to look through even further. We appreciate that so much. Now, folks out there, if you want to check into John, you can go to his website, and we'll have that also listed down in the text. It's www.theperceptiveinvestigator.com. So we hope you all will, if you are in the need of forensic astrology and great mediumship, then reach out, because John here is amazing.
Thank you very much. And I'm grateful, and the pleasure was all mine. And thank you for inviting me into this case. I really had a great time with all of you.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Definitely likewise.
Thank you, John.
You're very welcome.
For all of you out there that are listening and watching us on YouTube, we appreciate you staying with us and watching our show. And I just want to leave you with this. Our loved ones are never truly lost. They're only hidden from our sight. God bless, and thank you for listening.
If you have any information regarding a missing or murder case, contact your local authorities. Join us again next time on Looking for the Lost. Our theme music is written by Lynn Wool Everett.